Thank you for joining me today. This is a very quick update about the Nikon Z 50mm 1.8. What do I think of the 50mm 1.8? Well, you need to watch to see what I think. G'day everybody, how you going today? It's so lovely to see you. Now, I just picked this lens up yesterday and I decided to have a little bit of a photo session in the laneways in the city behind the camera store where I bought the lens. Now, I've been keeping my eye on this lens for a long time, and the feedback that I have read is that the lens is very, very good. Now, there is a complaint that it's a 50mm 1.8, but it was kind of clear to me from the start that Nikon was creating this new mount, which was significantly different from the F mount, and this allowed for a completely renewed optical performance from this mount and from the lenses that they could create. So logic would suggest that with the step up in quality that comes from the mount alone, this could also pass on to the lenses that they've made. Now, they chose to make the 50mm one of the very, very first lenses. It was one of the first 3 lenses that came out on launch around about a year ago. That's what they chose to do. And you would think, with the 50mm being absolutely ubiquitous, that you'd want to ensure it's a good one. You'd want to ensure you knocked it out of the park. You want people to buy into your new system. You've got to create something pretty spectacular from the start. Now, on paper, people complained. They really did complain. They weren't happy with a 51.8. You know, Canon came out with their 51.2, 3 times the price, but is it 3 times as good? So the reason I'm creating this film today is I picked up the lens, I went out onto the streets, it was raining, of course I love it. I only photographed for probably about 30 minutes because I had to head on out of the city, and I want to show you and I want to tell you what I think about it. So here's a pic in a laneway, the back door of a restaurant, a milk crate, and obviously their linen bag hanging there waiting to be picked up. I want to just show you here that this picture is almost completely untouched. There it is in its natural state, and all I did was add a tiny bit of contrast. That's all I have done literally to this image. That's it. That's it. The colors are real. It's all about getting the exposure right. And I hope you can see this in the 4K feed. But the quality, just wait till it renders. There it is. The quality, this is at 100%, pixel for pixel. And I'm shooting wide open. I'm shooting at 1.8. If we look down here, 1.8, 30th of a second, 64 ISO, because I'm in a dark laneway. And this is looking, look here, look at this quality here, here, here. We can even make the grain out, the texture out in the fabric. It is looking outstanding, even in the corners. Over here, looking great. And of course, this will be out of focus, probably. That's out of focus, but look at this. This is in focus, and we can see the textures. Absolutely blowing me away. Now, in here, look at this. I'm not a pixel peeper, but when you are confronted with something like this, it just blows your mind. So, sharpness, fabulous. Fabulous. Just fabulous. I mean, look at all this quality in here. You can see it all. And this is handheld, 30 of a second, 46 megapixels. So look at the color, look at the contrast, look at the clarity, look at the edge sharpness, which we've had a look at, and barrel distortion. Very, very, very minimal. There's a tiny amount, but almost none. So then let's have a bit of a look at the bokeh, or the bokeh. Here we are with an object that was probably 2 or 3 meters away, and you can see, so this obviously clearly in focus, and I just want to show you how crazy sharp this is. Look at that, 100%. There it is rendered. Again, I've done so little to this image, brought the shadows up a tiny amount, but this is so sharp. Oh my God, it's making me weep. This is a 5K screen. This looks lifelike to me. And have a look over here. What are these things? What do you think these things are? What are they? They are raindrops. I've gone up to 1/500th of a second. They are raindrops. Beautiful. And look at that bouquet. I think that looks delicious. I'm not sure why people are complaining about it. It looks great. Lovely fall off. The difference in fall off between 1.4 and 1.8 is very, very small. And this is why I think these lenses are tremendous value, because if you know how to shoot, which is the whole idea, then you can still get great fall off and no one would know the difference. And the extra light collecting capability can be made up for with the in-body stabilization. Look at that. Beautiful. Same lane weight, by the way. There's the red door down there. Again, very minimal, but I did create a second layer, and this is what the second layer did. So this is the first layer. Very little done to it. Again, just brought up the shadows a bit of contrast. That's it. Haven't affected the color. And the color, this is the other thing I wanted to talk about. The color rendition on this lens is lovely. Look at it. It's extraordinarily lifelike as well. Very, very accurate. So I've done almost nothing to these ones as well. And we can look at the background. Bokeh, here it is at 100%. Again, we've got the raindrops falling. Love it. Gorgeous. Look how crazy sharp this is. Insane. Insane. And the fall off, you know, falls off quickly towards the camera, falls off quickly behind the camera. But this is so sharp. That's layer one. Layer two, I decided I wanted to bring the door up a little bit, so I did. And I've actually, if we look, sorry, when I say layer two, background, then layer one, I've actually pulled some color out of the door. I like it better like that. And brought the exposure up because I wanted to see it a bit more. So anyway, again, color rendition on this one. I think the colors are outstanding. I am doing nothing in the way of bringing those colors up. Another variant on the original one, which was this one, except the sun decided to find its way through the buildings and land at exactly this moment. So I saw this happening and I rushed back down from down at the other end here, because there's this door down here. That's where all that's happening. I came back, I saw we can see the sun has just decided to hit. I ran back down and I just think this is a gorgeous moment. Again, it's telling the story, but look at this image. Now this makes me weep, and this is why this lens is so good. And I tell you, have a look over here. Look over here. Nothing. This image is untouched. I have done nothing to it. That blows my mind. Nothing to the color, nothing to the contrast, nothing to the shadows, nothing. And it looks that good. I am blown away. Check out this next one. Look at the quality of these textures. And just wait for it to render. There you go, it's rendered. Look at this. This is at 100%. Absolutely amazing. Again, all of these images are shot wide open at 1.8. Look at the focus. This is right at the bottom of the lens. Look at that focus. What? Look at this. Wait for it to draw. Right over in the edge. 1.8. Look over here. This is what's in focus. Look how sharp it is. Insanity. Insanity. This lens is absolutely spectacular. Look at this. Look at this glass. This is at 100%. And chromatic aberration. I don't see any. My final point. This thing is handling chromatic aberration extraordinarily well. And again, look over here. Nothing. I have done nothing at all. This is out of the camera. I haven't had to touch it. Obviously, I know how to take a photo. Obviously, I know how to get the settings right when I'm shooting. That's what I enjoy. That's what I love to do. I prefer to do minimal settings and minimal cropping. And I'm telling you, the Z with this lens is providing an experience that I've never, ever really seen before. I'm absolutely blown away. Sorry, that's not 100%. That is 100%. So this lens is an absolute cracker. The quality of these files are outstanding. If you're sitting on the edge about a Z, you like to do street photography, landscapes, actually can do everything, honestly. The people who say it can't do... look, high-speed sports, the Zs are not going to be as good as some of the other cameras. That's true. But if you do almost everything else except for high-speed sports, look at this camera. This here, I don't know if it's like this on your screen, but on my screen, it looks three-dimensional. It actually looks like it's coming out of the screen, this part here. This is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Again, over here, untouched. Whoops, didn't want to do that. Don't need to do that. This is how good it is, an unprocessed file looking this good. Wow. Like I said, if you've got any hesitation about the Z7 or the Z6, this is blowing my mind. Whew. Anyway, not so excited about that image, so we don't have to go through that. This was just a depth of field test. We can see it here. Oh yeah, I wanted to get back into the bright sunlight to see how chromatic aberration was going. And this is a dynamic range test, really. So what you can see here is I've done nothing except pull up the shadows. But I just want to show you how good, let it just redraw this, how good the Z7 is. So that's almost completely black, and how we can just bring up those shadows. So this lens is handling all of that, and we're not seeing the sorts of things we normally see, where if you push a file this hard, sometimes it starts to fall apart. It is not falling apart, which I just think is gorgeous. And this was again showing the depth of field. So I've got the medium format Hasselblad 60 megapixel medium format sensor 16-bit file camera. I've taken a shot just like this, and I have to say this shot is on par or very, very similar. You know, it might not be quite so good, but just have a look. This looks like perfection. So there you go. Extraordinary. So I'd like to thank you all so much for joining me for this Z7 50mm lens video. Oh my lord, this is a cracker of a lens. This says to me exactly what I said a year ago in this film up here, that the Z mount has got way more than meets the eye, and we are yet to really understand the true potential. But a 50mm 1.8 lens that's this sort of price, that's this good, it's so exciting. I'd love to know, what do you think about all of this? And a year ago, almost to the day, I was saying the Z mount is very exciting, and it's very interesting, and it's something that we should be respecting and seeing what happens. I think the 50mm is an example of it. It's an example. There's a clear example of what this can all mean. I'd love to know your thoughts. You create something this good. From my perspective, this level of quality at this price is insane. Whack the 50mm on the front, I think it's $5.99 US. I've just been looking at the files. They are extraordinary for the price. Z7's obviously a bit more, but extraordinary. Please, I'd love to know what you think. I look very forward to seeing you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.